everybody. It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this episode of the Sharpe Reality. At Donovan_Sharpe is where you can follow me on Twitter. And if you want to listen to past episodes of the Sharpe Reality, go to thesharpereality.com, where you can listen on SoundCloud, YouTube, or iTunes. Be sure to check out my column at Return of Kings, where I've written columns on just about every red pill topic out there. So if you're looking for additional content or a supplement to this podcast, head on over to Return of Kings and take a look at my archive. A special thanks goes out to my fellow Return of Kings columnist, Quintus Curtius, for appearing on the Sharpe Reality this past Saturday. It was actually the Sharpe Reality Live. He and I discussed a few things. We discussed the state of the sexual marketplace, the fucked up affairs between men and women, and we unexpectedly talked about the effect that a Donald Trump presidency could potentially have on the manosphere and red pill aware men. So we had a good time. We discussed a lot of different things. So be sure to check that out as well on the sharpereality.com. You can also find it on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Last week, I did an episode about dick size and whether or not it mattered to women, and the answers were interesting. So you should definitely check that episode out. A lot of good information there. In the spirit of that episode, I've decided to tell you why you should give absolutely zero shits about her needs in bed. Now, yeah, I know I said, you should time. I know in the last podcast about dick size, I know that I said that you should time your entry, to give her the most pleasure, engage in all sorts of foreplay and all that jazz. And while that's good advice for men who actually want to please women in bed, I'll be the first to tell you guys that me personally, I don't give a single shit about what she wants or needs in bed. Couldn't care less. And here's the thing. It hasn't hurt my prospects one bit, and I stopped giving a shit about what women want in bed a long time ago, like 5+ years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not going to sit here and say that you should intentionally make sex as bad for her as possible. Doing something like that is stupid, and in actuality, it probably takes as much effort as giving too many shits. What I am saying is that you just shouldn't care. If she likes the way you fuck her, great. If she doesn't, great. Now, some of you might think, but Donovan, if she doesn't like fucking you, she wouldn't stick around. And most of the time, you'd be dead wrong. More often than not, women don't care either way, all right? It's a bonus if they like it, but if they don't care, so long as you're happy. And I'll get into that aspect a little bit later. So I'm going to give you guys 4 reasons why you shouldn't give a shit about a woman's satisfaction in bed. Let's go ahead and start here with number 1. It's needy, supplicating, and pathetic. All right? It's fucking beta, guys. Worrying about whether or not your girl is getting off it's almost like buying her shit she doesn't deserve to keep her happy. You care too much. And when you care too much, if you're needy, if you're supplicating, she can't stand it. If you're the type of dude who's always asking, well, what do you like in bed? Or was that good enough? Or what do you think I can improve on? She's losing attraction for you by the minute. Every time you ask, that puts you further and further into what I sort of nicknamed the FFZ, and that's the fuck friend zone. Oh, you're getting the pussy. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're getting the pussy. But after a while, she'll stop sucking your dick. And then at some point, she won't let you fuck her in the ass. She won't let you go back door. But Donovan, if I'm fucking her, I'm not in the fuck friend zone because I'm getting the pussy. Wrong answer. Women suck the cocks of men they're attracted to, all right? They take it in the ass from men they're aroused by. They'll get the pussy to just about anybody, but their mouths and assholes are reserved for the men that give them tingles. So she'll fuck her husband, all right? But if she has an affair, she'll fuck the guy she's having an affair with, but she sucks his dick. She swallows his load. She lets him fuck her in the ass. Licking her pussy, it's simple math. If you're licking her pussy longer than she's sucking your dick, she loses respect for you. It's subconscious. She's not thinking about it, and you're not thinking about it. You're down there licking her pussy for 15, 20 minutes, and she gives you a 2-minute blowjob. Next thing you know, you're fucking her. Again, in her mind, she knows that you did more for her than she did for you. That's just how it goes. And speaking of going downtown, let's go to number 2. It doesn't do anything for you, especially if your dick isn't wet. Again, if you're licking a chick's pussy, what's that doing for you? Nothing, all right? yeah, she's moaning and groaning, gyrating, squealing, or whatever the hell she's doing. And all you get is a wet beard and pubes in your fucking teeth, neither of which keeps your dick hard. And it's funny. I'll hear dudes say all the time, oh, I love eating pussy. Bullshit. You don't really like eating pussy. It is simply a means to an end. You eat her pussy because you think it's going to get you laid, which again is exactly like buying them shit for them to get them to like you. And don't kid yourself, guys. It is the same thing. All this foreplay and going down and trying to turn her on, that is approval seeking, just like being a beta bitch boy. And listen, she'll tell you how much she loves you, how much she loves when you lick her pussy, just like she thanks you for buying her jewelry or paying her bills. But every time your head goes south of the border, she loses respect and attraction for you. And it's the same loss of attraction when you surprise her with flowers or jewelry. So, look, don't listen to these bitches out here telling you got to go down to get head. Dude, fuck that noise. Girls are going to suck your dick anyway because it's a constant reminder in their mouths that they turn us on. And 90% of a woman's satisfaction is tied to your satisfaction, which is why they love giving head in the first place. You can have a girl who says, oh, I don't like to suck dick and this and that and the other. But if she's with the right guy, if the right guy gives her signals, dude, she'll be giving him head. Dude, she'll be sucking his cock until the sun comes up. If you're a woman listening to this and you're shaking your head, just stop. You all know you guys know I'm 100% right. All girls like to suck dick for the reasons I just talked about. Number 3, this actually brings me to the third reason you shouldn't give a shit about a woman's needs in bed, which is exactly what I just said, which is that most of a woman's satisfaction is tied to yours. If a woman's sucking your dick and can't keep you hard, she blames herself. If you're fucking a girl for a half an hour and can't come, she takes it personally. And that actually reminds me, I'll tell you a quick story. A while back, I was fucking this chick that I met. I think it was either the first or second night I moved out here. I don't remember. Her name was Michelle, and she was hot. I mean, long brown hair, tight ass. I mean, she was hot. She really was. And things were cool. Like, we'd meet up once or twice a week. We'd fuck, and we'd go about our business. No muss, no fuss. Well, this went on for 2 or 3 months. When out of nowhere, she decides that we shouldn't see each other anymore. And she did this via text, of course, because girls always text. They never tell you face to face or over the phone. They always do this thing via text. But she basically said that she didn't feel desired. All right. I remember her saying, she said she felt that she said she felt that because it took me so long to come, she didn't feel like I was attracted to her. Here's the thing, guys. Again, a female's orgasm is directly tied to male arousal. If she thinks for 1 second that you aren't as attracted to her as she needs you or wants you to be, if she doesn't think at that very moment that you don't want her more than anything in the world, at that time, it is extremely difficult, if not completely impossible, for her to get off. And when and if she finally does, it's either because you lasted longer or she was imagining you were someone else, and that someone else, it had absolutely nothing to do with her imaginary lover's attraction and everything to do with his attraction to her. When women think about having sex with guys, when they fantasize about it, yes, looks are a factor. But the one factor that really turns them on is that he just can't control himself. He absolutely has to have her. He lusts after her, and he has to have her. That's what gets women off. Michelle stopped seeing me because she didn't feel like I lusted after her the way she's used to. And all women operate exactly the same way, guys. So if all it takes to get her off is unbridled lust, then again, there's no need for you to focus on anything she wants during sex, because all you need to bring to the table is maximum horniness. Now, if you want to see the text exchange between Michelle and I actually put screen grabs on my website, thesharpereality.com. Click on podcasts. Then on that drop-down menu, click on Podpics, and you'll be able to check that out and, see me getting the boot from a slut. She had a long nose anyway. Fuck her. Number 4, biology. Last but not least. The biological purpose of life is reproduction, which means heterosexual intercourse. For procreation to occur, For females to become pregnant, it requires male ejaculation. In other words, no sperm, no baby, right? We all get it. That's biology 101. Female orgasm is not necessary for women to get knocked up. Okay, if that were the case, most of us probably wouldn't be here. Male orgasm, however, is required. He's got to bust the nut to make a baby. And listen, we've all heard this bullshit. Well, if a female has an orgasm or if she comes, that increases the chances of a pregnancy. Look, I'm not a doctor or a scientist, and that may or may not be true, but I know this. If the man doesn't bust the nut, she ain't getting pregnant, and that's all there is to it. Women love being pregnant because it's proof that a man was aroused enough to put a baby in her. Yes, the fact that she's going to give birth satisfies her desire to nurture and be a mother and all that. But make no mistake about the fact that her sexual attractiveness being certified by way of copulation has every bit to do with that motherly glow as the prospect of motherhood does. Just like the blowjob, remember I talked about the blowjob earlier. Just like the blowjob, where your hard dick in her mouth is continuous validation of her desirability, a baby in her stomach is exactly the same thing. So if Mother Nature doesn't give a shit about getting her off, then neither should you. Again, guys, I want you to understand, I'm not suggesting that you go out of your way to make sex unenjoyable. But putting too much stock in pleasing her, again, it's like failing a shit test that she didn't. It's like failing a shit test she didn't deploy. Subconsciously, she's thinking, "Why is he trying so hard? Like all I did was take my clothes off and suck his dick for a few minutes." Then when you ask her how she liked your pussy eating skills, she'll complain about your beard being too scratchy. And it's funny, while I'm thinking about it, I'll go ahead and add a bonus reason why you shouldn't give a shit about what she wants during sex, which is women don't know what the fuck they want. Here's how the cycle goes. They ask you for something, you give it to them, they complain about it. That's how it works. I hit a stretch where this was happening with just about every girl I was fucking. And after a while, I said, dude, fuck this. I'm doing what I want, fuck what she wants, and I haven't looked back since. This one chick I'm fucking, she used to take all this pride in making me come in a few minutes because she knew that it took a while for me to bust the nut. She knew that. Again, she knew that I had a lot of stamina because that's just how it was. She took tremendous pride in making me go early. Again, that's that sexual validation. She used to tell me all the time, "Oh, I'm so proud that I can make you blow your load in under 10 or 15 minutes." Well, guess what, guys? After a while, she started saying shit like, "Well, it would be nice if you lasted a little longer," or "I have an orgasm since the first time we had sex." Again, women don't know what the fuck they want, guys. It's a moving target, and you'll never make them happy no matter what you do, all right? And that's exactly why I stopped giving shit about whether or not they squirt or shake or whatever the hell it is they do during an orgasm. And for the record, I still give zero shits about being a 10-minute man or less with the chick who started bitching about me and lasting longer. Couldn't care less, and guess what? I'm still fucking her. So when it comes down to it, guys, women get everything else in this life. They get all the benefits of being strong and independent without actually being either. They get jobs they're nowhere near qualified for to fill, quote, gender quotas. They get to sleep around without any of the shame associated with it. And after all of that, they're still able to lock down husbands. They get everything. They're spoiled fucking brats. And then here we come. Okay, after she's been ran through for a decade plus, then we come along and we're moving heaven and fucking earth to satisfy her needs in beds. And even if we do, she's still unappreciative. She always wants more because it's never enough and she's a spoiled fucking brat. Well, guys, that stops now. Fuck her feelings. Fuck what she wants in bed. Fuck her needs and fuck her fucking orgasms. Dude, just be completely selfish and fuck her the way you want to fuck her and don't worry about anything else. Because like I said before, if she likes it, great. If she doesn't, great. So long as she knows that you are turned on by her, she'll keep coming back for the sexual validation that you give her regardless of her, quote, satisfaction in bed. Okay, so now it's time for Q&A. Let's get right to it. The Surf writes in via YouTube about the dick size episode, which was episode 15. He writes in, quote, "When I reflect on my life, I'd say I've met a lot of light women who are size queens. On the other hand, it also depends on the internal size of the woman. Some women can't physically handle a big dick, and even an average dick is painful. And the physical size of the woman is irrelevant. You can fuck a big black woman and she could have a small pussy, or a tiny Asian who could have a cavern. The truth is that it really is a game of roulette. Thanks for the comment there, the surf. And I would agree, not all pussies are created equal. Some are cavernous, some are small, some are average, and it's the same with dicks. I mean, dicks come in all shapes and sizes and colors. Some girls can't handle a big dick, some prefer it. Really just kind of depends on the chick. Every once in a while, when a guy and a girl hooks up, the cock and the vagina are compatible. His dick is the best size for her, and her pussy is the best size for him. So that's a great analogy there by the surf. The sexual marketplace, in terms of the actual sex, really is a game of roulette. You just never know what you're going to get out there. Paul writes in via the Sharpe Reality. Donovan, I love the show. I recently listened to your episode about men's health and had a question about testosterone therapy. I've been looking in New York for a place, but so far all I keep finding on the internet are places that are distant. Am I searching this wrong? Any recommendations? Thanks. Thanks for the question, Paul. I would just Google TRT clinics or testosterone replacement therapy clinics in your city and just start calling around. Now, I'll go ahead and let you know that the blood tests that they'll administer, those will be a little bit pricey, and that largely depends upon the clinic. But after that, the actual testosterone is expensive. I would definitely stay away from buying it online sight unseen. It could be fake. It could be underdosed. It could be an overdosed compound. I mean, and look, there are plenty of stories on the web about dudes who spend all this money and find out that what they bought was fake. So your best option is to get it prescribed to you by a doctor and pick it up at the pharmacy. That way you know that you're getting the real stuff and that you're being monitored by your doctor. Chris writes in via the Sharpe Reality. Hey, Donovan. Hey, what's up, Donovan and Illimitable Men? I am graduating from college this summer and would like some advice on where to move after school. I've been studying red pill philosophy for the past couple of months. I can't read today. And it has definitely affected what I want to do after school. He continues, I'm thinking about moving to the Miami area, cheaper than living in the city. But I do not want life to be boring after college. And I am sure that there will be a lot of girls to choose from in the Miami sexual marketplace. Is this a smart move? Should I move somewhere cheaper? Chris, my bad for not seeing this question during the live podcast with I Am last weekend. But because I live in the U.S. and Illimitable Man lives in the U.K., I'm going to go ahead and answer this question solo. In terms of the best places to get the most bang for your buck, I would recommend any state with no state taxes. You're right on track with Miami because there's no state tax in Florida. Also, the cost of living is reasonable, and that area is loaded with hot Latinas. All right. I've never lived in Miami, but I've been down there several times and I always have a great time. I've also heard places like Austin, Texas is a great place to live. I've got a couple of friends that live down there. My sister lives down there. Again, no state taxes in Texas, a reasonable cost of living and plenty of girls. I would personally recommend Las Vegas if you're looking for a low cost of living, great nightlife, and an abundance of girls to have fun with. I lived down there for 7 years, and it was a fucking blast. There's always something to do. You don't have to have a shitload of cash to have a good time, and the cost of living is low. As a matter of fact, you can probably get a really nice apartment for about $800 per month right off the strip. So again, Nevada, there are no state taxes there, and everything is much less expensive. Another benefit, while I'm thinking about it, of living in Vegas. It's really cheap to fly out to LA for a weekend. It's a 1 hour flight, maybe $150 round trip on Southwest or JetBlue. So hypothetically speaking, you could fly out on a Friday night, hit the town, maybe go to Santa Monica, chill at the beach, and be back on Sunday evening and in time for work Monday morning. It really is a great life out there in the 702. So in this order, I'd go number 1, Vegas, number 2, Austin, and Miami would probably be number 3. But if you're right out of college, you really can't go wrong with any of those choices. Thursday's episode, I'm going to talk about a few covert slut tells that most men aren't aware of. We all know about the tattoos, the piercings, the purple hair, and all the obvious stuff. But there are quite a few characteristics and circumstances that women have that make it very easy for them to slut around that most men are unaware of. even with red pill knowledge, a lot of red pill aware men don't really pick up on these things, at least not in the beginning. So be sure to tune in this Thursday to check that out. That concludes this episode of The Sharpe Reality. Visit thesharpereality.com anytime to listen to all my podcast episodes, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharpe. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.